Jason is here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today we're going to be talking about the Mandalorian movie. We're going to talk a little bit about the EA game that was supposed to come out. That's not coming out now. And also, just a little side note, the show gets demonetized because every time I say fuck, they say, oh no, you can't put an advertisement on there. He said fuck in the first start of the show. So if you say fuck, it'll just demonetize the show. So it's important that if you follow the show every day, that you're a channel member or a Patreon supporter, because literally in the last couple of the shows, actually, I don't even think we opened with any cussing. And they just demonetize the show. They just fucking do it. They don't care. So might as well just use my potty mouth all I want because nothing matters. But the best way to support the show is to be a channel member or a Patreon supporter. And when we get to the Bespin Bulletin articles today, you can support Bespin Bulletin on Patreon, or you can send them a coffee, a Ko-Fi. Nobody knows how it's really said. It's been lost to time, but that's the best way to support Bespin. So if I don't do that enough, there's also that. How's it going, guys? Sorry to on. How are you doing? Oh, you guys quiet, huh? You guys
what?
Quiet. You guys are
what?
quiet.
About what?
What, you guys
About
mad? What, you guys gonna unionize against me for the super
About
chats?
what?
Is that what this is? Is that what this is? Yeah.
All right, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Quit.
Calm
I
down,
can't
Jeff.
find my
Calm
mouse.
down, Jeff. That's okay.
Trying to-
That's okay.
Trying to find my mouse. Can't quit the show.
Trouble in paradise. That's all I wanted to say when I saw that thing. But yeah, so Bespin, you did a couple articles, right?
I wrote a couple articles. Yeah.
You want to do the EA one, or you want to do the Mandalorian one first? I'll let you pick.
We'll do Mando because I think the EA one will take I'll have a longer discussion.
A longer discussion in theory.
Yeah.
Okay. I am gonna be mean to you, like I told you about this article. Okay, so the Mandalorian and Grogu working title reportedly revealed. Okay, and now the thing about it is I don't think that's like that's like the doing business title. That's the title, like, don't charge us Star Wars Disney prices, charge us Thunder Alley prices. A movie with Bob Hoskins where it goes back to meet his estranged daughter who he left after his Vietnam flashbacks turned him into an abusive drunk. How will they ever reconnect? Learn this season on Thunder Alley. Like, that's what I think is going on here personally. But okay, here we go. Let's get to the article that Bespin Bulletin wrote on BespinBulletin.com. As we've known for a number of weeks, the next Star Wars theatrical release, The Mandalorian and Grogu, is looking to begin filming on June 17th, 2024, Rob's birthday. With this in mind, more news on the production will likely arise. Just last week, I reported that the film would shoot until October, Bespin's birthday. And it was just earlier this week that it was revealed that the production would receive $21.7 million in California tax credits, Jon Favreau's birthday. You can read about it here. Now, a new report has possibly revealed the working title codename of the upcoming movie. By the way, Bespin, have you ever thought maybe about like just doing like ninja edits while we're live on the show so that I read whatever's in the article? Like,
and just put it back? Right, yeah, but like you don't refresh, so like.
Well, no, you tell me to refresh and I do. So you could do that to me. I'm just saying. I don't want you to, but you could.
I've generally thought about putting the most obscene shit in this. Like, odd times. Like, yeah.
Diddy's innocent. What?
No, I would not put Diddy's innocent.
Diddy's not innocent. No.
Diddy ain't innocent.
Diddy does it, right?
Diddy diddled. Diddy diddled.
Diddy diddled. Did he diddle us? We don't know. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, he did. He was balls deep in Usher. All right. Readers of mine would know that Lucasfilm using working titles, code names for their Star Wars productions is common practice. Some past examples include The Mandalorian Season 1 having the codename working title of Huckleberry. And
make a Star Wars exclusive back in the day, baby.
But yeah, I actually got the security guard to harass me with the Huckleberry badge and got a picture of it, that was the biggest epic. That guy was an asshole. I see you out there still, you fucking asshole. All right. Ahsoka was Stormcrow. Obi-Wan Kenobi was Joshua Tree. Acolyte was Paradox, to name a small handful. Force Awakens was Avco, as well as Foodles.
Because they
I
have
ate at Foodles. I used to eat at
they have the
Foodles.
fake like company name,
Yeah.
and then they have like E&D Industries is like Ando's company name, and
Yeah.
then they have the what do you call it, the code name then as well.
Right. And then the problem though that arises in these I don't know what you call it, esoteric fun production facts, is that people think it's the title that they're considering for the movie.
Right.
Like it's called Thunder Alley. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, all right. I followed Cosmic Surface for a few years, and two of the writers, Lizzie Hill and Alex Perez, are fantastic when it comes to releasing Marvel Studios reports. Honestly, though, and just I don't know anything about them or their stuff. You vouch for them, so I believe you, whatever you say.
No, they generally are great. Like Lizzie,
yeah, I believe you.
She used to work for Charles Murphy, who does Murphy's Multiverse. People probably familiar with that.
Also, game show host of Murphy's Madness.
Yes. And then went on to do her own thing. Had a lot of scoops. Alex works for her now, and he is probably the more prolific these days out of the two.
Okay.
Like, you know, like on some of the subreddits, they have like percentages for how many things people get right.
Okay.
Like Alex is like top of it. You know, like
Right.
he's like 90-something%. Like he's, as I said, if it's those two guys, like individuals,
yeah,
you know, with Marvel stuff, is probably like.
Yeah, you know that they're not making up shit for clout, hoping to fan math it to the top. They're actually delivering.
Yeah,
but
you and
you specifically, hear a lot more about Marvel than we, or at least than I need to. Like it just it's part of Disney being owned. Yeah, the same parent company. There's overlap, but so things get kind of like, you get Marvel news when you're looking for Star Wars stuff. You get Star Wars stuff when you're looking for Marvel stuff. However, though, the ability to read that stuff is where this one gets weird. I think I think because of your respect for them on those writer stuff, you were, I think, a little nice to them in this thing. I mean, probably. As the article goes on, like they say they had the title for episode 10. And as you can vouch for Thunder Alley, correct?
Oh yeah, I've written. Yeah, I can vouch for Thunder Alley.
Yeah.
As soon as I hit like yesterday, I wrote.
I want to be fair. I'm trying to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like evaluate like what this piece is.
Thunder
regardless
Alley
of
is what it is called.
Yeah.
That might change. They do change things when things get out early.
Well, we also saw that they are also doing business as, what was it, Huckleberry Industries or something like that. It was
the production company name for this movie is Huckleberry Industries, and then Thunder Alley is the working title.
It's the working title. Okay. As mentioned in the Cosmic Circus report,
you missed the alley, the one before.
Oh, okay. I'll try and get confirmation of this myself, and we'll share with readers. Okay, wait, sorry. The CC report doesn't have either of those writers attached to the report. So the two writers he's bigging up, as you say, aren't a part of this article, right? That's what you're saying.
But this is the thing to like establish, is because you and I were on Fortnite when this happened.
Yeah.
And Chris Breezy is the one that texted you and was like, breaking news, these guys are like the best, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I've put that in here, is that Lizzie Hall and Alex Perez are, but
they didn't put their name on
this.
The
Jerry, the best.
But they're not the writers attached to it. It's just, as it says in the paragraph, just the entertainment team. So
which is like if you look at StarWars.com, for instance, you might see an article where I'll just pick on Dan Brooks. He writes a thing about ELO and Star Wars and it'll say by Dan Brooks. But then when you see something that can just be randomly controversial, and probably everybody has eyes on it, like on the StarWars.com editorial thing, everybody probably has eyes on everything that comes out. It probably goes through everyone as a peer review kind of thing, but it will say the StarWars.com team or staff or some shit like that. And it'll do that. And then that way, like, you can't get mad at Dan Brooks because you're mad that the Star Wars Battlefront redo uses AI or some shit like that. Like that's what they do to like distance a specific person from it. So the fact that it doesn't say Alex Perez, Lizzie Hill, it's like, yeah, that's okay. So anyways, but they do have the working title of the film correct, the code. That's why when they're walking around in Burbank and in Disney, they're not going, "Hey everybody, what's going on with the Mandalorian and Grogu?" No, they're gonna ask for a status update on Thunder Alley so that they can do X, Y, and Z. So that's how that code is actually used. Okay. As mentioned in the Cosmic Circus report, Thunder Alley has been mentioned in the Star Wars universe before. Now, this is where I'm going to pick on you and them, and I think this is incredibly stupid. Because Thunder Alley itself is a fucking generic racing term. That you
haven't read the entire article, Jason.
Oh, I know. No, I have. But specifically in the Legends novel Before the Storm, Thunder Alley was a region of space along the New Republic borders that several fleets rotated in patrol. In 16 ABY, just before the Black Fleet crisis, I don't think it was fair that they really noted that those pilots in that fleet were black. But before the Black Fleet crisis, the Second Fleet had been patrolling Thunder Alley in the
Black History Month. Why are you doing this?
Oh, is that maybe that's what it's in respect of? Black History Month or Black Fleet crisis. The Second Fleet had been patrolling Thunder Alley, the longest of the fleets, with some home service and shipyard services. You know what that means? Admiral Akbar HJs. Admiral Guile Akbar. I'm sorry, his name is not Guile. Is his name really Guile? Like the soap? Like Dial? Guile?
Sonic Boom!
Yeah, Guile. Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom! Akbar convinced Chief of State Leia Organa to pull the Second Fleet out and replace it. God, my pussy's getting dry reading this. And replace it with the First Fleet, which had been serving as Coruscant's defense force during the same time. So that right there, that has to probably do with some of that, what's her name? Mon Mothma shit, right? Anyways, this is legend stuff, though. This is old legend stuff. There's no indication that the working title has been inspired by the Star Wars Legends material, though it'll likely be more common assumption among fans, and I think they would be completely wrong. Like, right now, I'm just saying, though, this is just my reading of it. I think this movie has been fast-tracked, and I don't think the movie is about racing. If it's about racing, there we go. But I think it has more to do with the fact that this bitch is getting fast-tracked. This is a race to the finish on this one. That's what I think. That's what I think the poetry of the title is. That's my reading. Yeah.
The only thing I could take away from the Thunder Alley reference from Legends would be that it's a part of space that us on the edge of the New Republic. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing you could take from it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Every freaking series seems to be on the edge of the New Republic. You know, it's like, I don't know where any shit is in the Star. We don't really have we kind of know Coruscant's in the center, but I mean, we rarely go there anyway. So there's no geography to Star Wars.
So you don't like edging. You want to keep it in the core. No,
I'm not a big fan of the edge. No,
the edge. All you gotta do is put an auto on your guitar. And you're like, oh, that's my sound. Okay, whatever, loser. Elsewhere, Thunder Alley is often discussed regarding stock car racing. Yeah, this is where I was like, honestly, this could have more to do with Knott's Berry Farm and a local thing than anything. The stock cars would run on oval. You remember the Thunder Alley boxcar racers ride at Knott's?
Yeah.
It's gone. It's gone. I was there a couple days ago and I was like, ah. But anyways, the stock cars would run on oval tracks and road course measuring approximately 0.25 to 2.5 miles. It was originally used production model cars, hence the name stock car, but it's now using cars specifically built for racing. As we know, George Lucas had an affinity for cars for racing. There's also a film titled Thunder Alley from 1967, directed by Richard Rush, which centers on two stock car racers. Yeah, this is Annette Funicello in that one, by the way, when I think she was still pretty hot. There's also a film from 1985 that sports the name Thunder Alley, but the plot of the film revolves around a rock band that are rising in the music industry and they mix up with drugs. This seems a little dark to have inspired the Disney-produced film. Cosmic Circus are also reporting. Okay, so that right there is the Mando stuff. So the Mando stuff is good. The reading into the title, I don't buy it personally. But the code name Thunder Alley, it's correct. So that is the value of the article. Now we get on to the next part. And then this is where it's like, oh man, it's like somebody did like a home run and then shit their pants. Like that's what the article kind of ends up being in the big picture. It's like grand slam, diarrhea.
The thing with the titles, the working titles are that they are often referred to as, they are often like linked to the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Stormcrow is like a link to Gandalf, which Ahsoka is inspired by. You know, she's Ahsoka the White and whatever the else.
Yeah, she wore white after Labor Day.
Yeah, Grammar Rodeo for Skeleton Crew is a Simpsons reference about a bunch of kids going off on an adventure and then, you know, the trouble that ensues. And
this one is about a race to the finish because
this is about Mando starting a band and doing drugs, and then Grogu ODs.
Grogu. I mean, he is 50 years old. He can't handle his drugs like he used to be able to. Let's be real about that. You know, it's a point where it's time to age out and slow down. Not Grogu. Mm-hmm. I mean, he loves fentanyl. All right, Cosmic Circus are also reporting that the titles for the untitled Rey Skywalker film set to be directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is Star Wars. Okay, you were fucking kind here. I think you pulled this punch because you like this website. Because no, their title was Star Wars Episode 10, A New Beginning. That takes it up. I mean, that takes it into the stratosphere of, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, if you had that, number one, your working title is complete trash if the story was real, because the fact that there's an episode 10 would be the money-making story. That's your first clue that this was a low confidence in this report, and it wouldn't be the second fiddle to the Mandalorian.
This also didn't lead their report. Thunder Alley led their report.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm completely making shit up. I don't know anything about these people, but it's like that just hits me as we don't even believe this shit. You know what I mean? It's like, and this is a title. I don't know how many times have we seen this. Like 3 times at least.
Yeah.
So somebody is going around faking this New Beginning title, and it fucking won't stop going around. You know, and the truth is that if Disney wanted to market a new Star Wars movie without marketing the new Star Wars movie,
at one point claimed that this was the title as well.
You guys are the ones who follow those like sports guy, film guys. I don't
really
ever
watch
see it. So
you know, like I like keeping up for the drama. You know.
Yeah. So you guys are the ones who tell me what those guys are doing. You know what I mean? Like it's just.
I literally send you clips from Snyder Show.
You did send me the one where he left, and I was like, yeah, you don't have to take that. You don't have to take that, Snidey. You're a little snide, but that's your name, so you're allowed to be. But you need to.
It is funny though, Jason. It is funny how Snyder does talk like, he's like, I'm a tough guy. I could take anything, and then he gets a little bit of shit and he quits.
True.
Roka needs him more than the other way around, though, right? Like,
oh no, yeah, 100% for that show.
Yeah.
For that show, yeah, for that show.
Yeah, I can see why he's mad though. Like you set up a show together, and like the show is like, I have the platform, I produce the show. You come on, I talk to you, and you bring scoops, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, sorry, this is all going in my newsletter. It's
what?
Like, why are we here?
What's going on?
Well, I mean, I know you guys all watch it. Like, I got 3 friends who watch it, and all of them are kind of like, oh, this is kind of like, you know, when he doesn't bring the scoops, why am I watching the show? I mean, that's kind of what the vibe is. So,
well, no, I like it. The more they argue, I'd watch even that. Like, I like it.
Okay,
I'm all for it.
Well, then
you
had a great
Snyder's
show.
Knowledge, yeah.
That's why I'm here, Jason. That's why I'm here. Have you not noticed what we do here?
Yeah, it's true.
You want to talk to me again about how great Underworld was going to be? You want to do that?
No, I mean we agreed. We agreed with how it. No, I was with you. Just your reasoning was wrong.
No.
I'm sorry, but you can't say the effects were going to be bad because an effects house who didn't get the job did a test for the effects. That doesn't make sense. If they were hired on to be the effects company and then it fell through, you'd have a point. But that's not what happened.
Yeah, they were going to be bad.
But you don't know.
I know this.
The title
empirically, I know this.
So you're telling me that by the time we get to the volume with George Lucas, you think the volume would look worse with George Lucas?
He already had the volume. It was called blue screen. He loved it. He did 2 whole movies in it.
Rob is sidestepping. Rob is sidestepping.
Wasn't it wonderful? He was going to continue to do that blue screen thing, man. That was going to be the deal.
Oh, by the way, Rob, you should watch Shogun. I think you'll like it.
It's why he was blue. That's why he was blue in Revenge of the Sith. He likes it. He's just mad James Cameron put a whole movie about blue aliens because he wanted to do it. He had Blue Jedi. He was blue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, made his daughter blue.
Yeah. Or maybe old white guys hit a point at a certain age where they just lose all creativity and they're like, make it blue. That's a good idea.
No, to be fair, Cameron wanted them to be yellow, but it wouldn't work out.
God, that sounds awful. Piss.
Yeah, that's why he didn't do it.
Well, no, it's gonna be bad though because of that. It's gonna be bad. The title has been rumored for many, many months and hasn't come out from any
$3 billion.
Oh yeah. Money is not a metric of success.
Hey, get out of here with that. All
right. The title has been rumored for many, many months and hasn't come from anybody reliable because it's made up. My sources say this is not the case, and I've seen other outlets on social media share that Lucasfilm themselves have denied the title. So,
all right, quit the show, but I don't have anything else to do, so I'm back. Right.
Well, it was funny in the article, Rob, at one point, I believe that the writers of the article, they think that Jordan Mason is from Lucasfilm because Jordan Mason wrote an article for StarWars.com about some arbitrary shit sometimes, and he keeps that in his byline. And they're like, oh God, Lucasfilm commented and set us straight. Like that was how it read on the main article. I was like, yeah, okay. The Mandalorian and Grogu is set to be directed, it'll come out with this fucking Darth Maul cartoon. The Mandalorian and Grogu is set to be directed by the Mandalorian series creator Jon Favreau, who's also writing the effort alongside the Mandalorian executive producer Dave Filoni. Currently, the film has not received an official release date from Lucasfilm because they're fucking bitches, and Disney, who are also fucking bitches, though both have touted the Mandalorian and Grogu to be leading their Star Wars theatrical slate as the #1 worst title of a Star Wars film in the history of Star Wars. There's an untitled Star Wars film slated to release on May 22nd.
Solo was the worst. I stand by it.
Sorry,
and then Rise of Skywalker. It's pretty fucking bad too.
No,
I'm
you're
just
like
Rob. I like in that order. I'm with him. Yeah.
No, you guys are fucking high.
Yeah,
the Mandalorian.
You're outvoted.
No. Just a short, succinct
Skywalker.
Solo. Just calling it Solo.
But it's not called just Solo though.
Oh. Okay, nobody says a Star Wars story. Do you say Rogue One?
You literally called it Solo a Star Wars story to me last night.
That's even worse. It is officially called Solo a Star Wars story.
Okay, well, you know what? I can say fucking Solo. I can say Rogue One. The moniker a Star Wars story won't be there in 20 years.
But we just
the
say
Mandalorian,
Mando
the Mandalorian and Grogu. No, the problem is that there's another Mandalorian movie coming too. So we'll just call it the Mandalorian.
No,
then what?
He's canceling that one.
No, this is the worst title.
No,
it is the stupidest title.
No.
It is a shit
fucking
stupid title.
The stupidest title is Rise of Skywalker by far, and then Attack of the Clones probably because that's the one Ewan McGregor even made fun of live on air.
No. See. You know what? You just invalidated
Attack
your
of the
whole
Clones.
opinion. Yeah, that's a Star Wars fucking title. That is a Star Wars title. But the Mandalorian and Grogu sounds like a fucking children's cartoon for kids that are like.
We know why they've called it this.
This is doubling down on the bad idea of Ahsoka. The show is called Kenobi. The movie is called, but now it's long and clunky. That's why it's the worst because now it's long and clunky.
It's the fact that they.
Yeah, but in Japan it's called Frozen Summer, so
that's better. I like Frozen Summer. By the way, if you guys follow Ghostbusters, a shit ton of TV spots and stuff came out last night, and there's a Japanese Ghostbusters trailer that has more about the plot in it. It's probably like the second most revealing thing they put out, but at the end it goes Ghostbusters, Frozen Summer, and I'm like, yeah, that's way cooler. That sounds like a cool song, and yeah,
this
Frozen
title
Empire.
though, we know why we did this. Like the Mandalorian, we got to have the synergy with the show, and the Mandalorian sells, and then Grogu sells a lot of product, so we have to have.
You can put Mandalorian and the Grogu on a shirt, and you put Solo on a shirt. You look like a freaking idiot, dude. Like.
So when I wear my Solo shirt, I look like a freaking idiot. You're calling me a freaking idiot right now.
Yes, and if you put Rise of Skywalker on a shirt, they just think you got a boner. Like I'm just telling you, man.
I just got the thing right now. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire hits theaters March 22nd. Get your tickets now. So the tickets are for Ghostbusters.
Hey, can I
are
have
on
one
sale.
complaint about Ghostbusters
No,
so far? I've
we're
been
buying the
super-
tickets, Rob. We're not complaining about it.
I've been happy with a lot of this, dude. I've been pretty impressed. But they gotta put the Ghostbusters music in these trailers and stop with this generic like.
It was in the one I sent to Jason last night.
The TV.
No,
spot,
but we know the song. Me and Rob know the song that needs to be in it, though.
No,
Saving the Day.
Saving the Day.
Yeah.
Saving the Day.
Yeah.
That shit's good. That shit's
Yeah,
good. Yeah, and like fuck yeah. And I even said get Jack Black to do it. Let's put Jack Black in this shit. Why not? He's not singing anything this year.
I can't wait for the sequel. Mandalorian and Grogu and Jack Black.
Yeah.
Right?
I would do it.
Hey, no, she canceled herself, buddy.
Is Lizzo still canceled?
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
You can't be a big old fat bitch and go around fucking body shaming people for being fat. Nah, it ain't gonna work. Yeah, I don't think it'll.
It wasn't just that though, was it?
And
it
your
was
whole
like
brand, her whole brand is like body positivity, and she's a fucking like monster.
It wasn't just the.
No, it wasn't just that. It was the banana. It was the bananas.
Banana,
It was the bananas.
Look,
the Christian stuff. There was a bunch of stuff that was going on. Remember?
Yeah.
That one was that one. Yeah, I rarely go, oh, you can't, but that one's hard to get back.
And it wasn't even when she ruined that Star Wars episode by acting like she was reading fucking cue cards like she was Warwick Davis on a Willow set. Like
I remember watching a movie a few years ago. It was called Hustlers, and it had Jennifer Lopez in it, and it's about strippers. And it was actually a good movie.
She dated Diddy, right? Her and Diddy used to be together.
Hey, there's stuff in the documents about J-Lo.
What's going on with J-Lo? She okay?
Yeah, J-Lo's okay, but like there was this is going soft track. There was an incident like I think in the early 2000s or late 90s when she was seeing Diddy, and like a rapper got shot in a club, and it was alleged that Diddy's the one who shot him.
Yeah.
Right? Diddy denied it. He got away with it. Whatever. Right.
Yeah.
In the documents, it's alleged that J-Lo is the one who carried the gun in her purse for Diddy to shoot the guy.
Oh no!
There we go.
So
no.
Look out, Ben Affleck.
I have
Affleck just can't catch a break, huh, Jason?
Well, I have my one Diddy story is in like 2000, probably 2001. I was recording at the studio called Pop Squad in LA. And like that's where Macy Gray was making her stuff, and I don't know if it was like demo. Anyways, point being, one of the guys who was the engineer for me was signed on to Diddy's Godzilla soundtrack. And one day I go in the morning, like really early, like 9 a.m. to start recording guitars. And like he hasn't gone to bed yet. He's not having a good day, the engineer. And it's like he had to go with the A&R guy to one of his parties, and he gets strippers, and all these strippers are there, and I don't think the guy minded that necessarily, but he just punched a chick in the mouth, just straight up punched a chick in the mouth for making a joke about him. And I was like, yeah, he's a fucking monster. He was afraid that he was going to get beat up by him. So it's sort of surprising when all is said and done that it took like over 20 something years, 30 years, basically.
It's like R. Kelly though, right? Like R. Kelly,
yeah,
it was like pretty known that like the stuff he was doing, like amongst the industry, and like even just like general people sort of knew what he was up to.
Yeah,
it was just the getting caught part finally, the TV series that like fucked him.
I didn't know. Jason knew, and he didn't do anything about it. So
what can I do about it?
What?
Like,
I don't know. You can
look at all the actors.
You could have called in Miss Cleo back in the day and brought it up on Miss Cleo, Jason.
Miss Cleo, I predict the punch is coming for your balls, man.
It's P. Diddy's going to punch you in the throat.
They just get like in the documents for like Diddy, it says like all the power that he has with like law enforcement, all this other weird shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably why people haven't really done anything. Like he has like all these hidden cameras, and he has all this footage of like people doing shit apparently.
No, that's the crazy part that I feel like what that's promising is like what the Epstein stuff, what people thought was going to happen at first. Like this is going to change everything, and there's going to be all these big names in it. There was like a bunch of like billionaires that nobody knows and shit for the most part. But on that one right there, I think that would be the more. If you ask me whose files do you want to see? Do you want to see those files or the Epstein ones? I'd be like, those ones are going to be more
What's
interesting.
he got on Filani?
You know what I mean?
Huh?
Well, I
We've
mean,
already
no,
got like how many celebrities named already? Like just in this, like the Diddy stuff so far is like 4 or 5 of them.
yeah, those what you were telling me last night was.
Yeah.
I mean, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yep.
Yeah. Radio.
Fucking
Radio.
man, that one was that one's crazy. I mean, there's this Nirvana song called Floyd the Barber, and it's like in that song, like the protagonist of the narrative is being assaulted by Floyd the Barber from the Andy Griffith show.
Yeah.
And
the
like
Opie Show.
all the people from it are there, and they're all helping, and that's what reading that was like. It was like some of these people you think are like super like nice people, and you're like, oh, okay, fucking Cuba Gooding Jr. is fucking R-wording people, so it's nuts. Anyways,
And he was radio.
He was radio. I mean, he was in Red Tails, the Lucasfilm production,
Figure
Red
that one
Tails.
Shane in the chat said, "Didn't R. Kelly marry Aaliyah when she was a minor?" Yes, he did. She was 15
Was
when
she
he married her.
15? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she was Akasha, and she crashed.
That's old for Iowa.
Did you ever like read the theories that Jay-Z was involved with that Aaliyah stuff?
Yeah. What was the deal with that?
That
What
like
was that?
basically like he wanted her, couldn't have her, so like, and they were gonna make into the next big pop star, and then like he was responsible for that plane that she died
Yeah.
on. Like she was like, it came out that she was drugged before she went on it.
Right.
She didn't want to go on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
and she was
And,
drugged.
and hopefully that's true either way you cut it.
Yeah, so she doesn't have the fear and the panic.
Just
going.
sleeping,
Yeah.
just doesn't wake up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's not a bad way to go if you have to go.
And then so then like,
But also
he-
not
he-
cool when you're being killed by, you know.
yeah,
rappers.
because she was like set up to be this, like, she was, if you look at it in the past, it was set up to be that she was going to be what Beyonce became,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And obviously Jay-Z ends up with Beyonce and all this stuff. It's just a conspiracy theory, but like, I don't know. There's been conspiracy theories that Diddy's been involved with the death of like the Notorious B.I.G. With everything that's come out about Diddy, is like, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Well, remember Jamie Foxx the other day or very recently?
Oh,
He's like,
yeah.
I gotta stop going to those Diddy parties.
Yeah, he was
It's
talking
like,
about,
don't say that, Jamie Foxx.
and
Oh
then he, like,
man.
then he went down. He went down, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. Let's don't go to Miami.
So
don't go to Miami.
Don't go to Miami. All right. So okay. So you wrote a second article.
I did.
This one is I'm not
Do you-
emotionally invested in this because I never emotionally connected to this story because I never believed in this company. Considering what has happened, and like it's just like fucking funny to me at this point.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter when your overlord's EA. It doesn't matter when everything is EA based. Like, but you know, yeah. I mean, I like their games. I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not. It doesn't. I mean, I'm a fan of Battlefront 2, made by the company who's shit. They are a shit company. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is probably like the best Star Wars game ever made.
No.
Yeah, it literally is. It literally is. Like, you just okay. Then follow up with your fucking point.
It's
What
just
is-
not the best Star Wars game?
What is then? You can't say no and then not say what it is. Like,
What?
no, just this idea for a thing that never happened.
No, it's not.
Do you even like a Star Wars game, Rob? Let's put it that way. Do you even like
Is
a
that
Star
what they're
Wars?
gonna start calling
And it can't
I
be
like
made on
Rogue.
fucking. It can't be
Like-
a 16-bit game. It has to be a game
I like
made in
Rogue
modernity.
Squad, Rogue Leader, you know, Pod
You're just-
Racer. I like
you're-
Pod Racer 2. Oh, I
You're
think it's
just making.
underrated.
You're just making up games now. You
No,
know,
I'm not
you're
like
just-
Jedi Knight 3. Was it the one that Raven Software made? That one was dope.
Oh my god! What year? Those games. Those games
Play
are
controls way
trash.
better on that game.
No, you're fucking.
Way
See,
better.
I just bought that game.
Mouse and
The-
keyboard. Way better.
I just bought. I just bought those games when they
yeah, but
remade
you
them.
played them
And
on
they're not
controller.
good.
You played them on controller. It was meant to be.
Yeah,
played on
I'm
mouse
never
and
gonna play a game on a mouse and keyboard because I have two fucking hands, two man hands.
I played
man
Fortnite
hands.
on mouse and keyboard.
Fucking, you know what a keyboard's for? It's for a secretary taking notes. Man hands. play
I
on a
like the
controller.
Starkiller games. Thought those were pretty good. I like the Lego Star Wars games.
Yeah, see, no, you're completely wrong. You're completely wrong.
You
It's
said name
your.
something not 16-bit. I just named the last 20 years of Star Wars games.
I
don't
know
like EA's Battlefront games.
because you're just naming
Don't like-
stuff. You're naming things
No,
to
I
pivot to.
legitimately like. What are you talking about?
That Star Wars game is the best looking Star Wars game. It had several different modes. It gave too much. You could play fucking space. It had like all of the fucking levels. It represented all of the trilogies.
Gameplay sucks.
No, the gameplay is fine.
No.
Not in 2024. It's better. But you know what? Every game you just said has unplayable gameplay in 2024 as well. Especially the Jedi games. They're almost.
I actually like the
unplayable.
Revenge of the Sith Game Boy Advance game. Thought that
See,
was really
you
good.
just want to see the world burn. You're a fucking anarchist.
I thought the original Battlefront games were fun. The ones that Lucasfilm made.
So you buying that one next week then? You
Huh?
playing it next week?
If we all play it with Azatru, yeah, I'll do it.
All right, I'll get it. I think it's gonna be shit though. This feels awfully familiar,
No,
doesn't it?
Hold on.
Oh.
I just want Shane Peterson to know this isn't a PC versus console debate. I prefer consoles, but when it comes to first person shooters or specifically controlling a lightsaber, it's that Jedi Knight 3 was made to be used with the mouse, like the way you play the game. Okay, it's designed that way.
It does. It has like a slashing like up and left and up and right kind of thing to it, and it is better to play it on a keyboard.
Yeah. Oh, fucking okay. How about this? I think my favorite Star Wars game in the last 20 years is Vader Immortal. I thought that was brilliant.
It's a good game, but it's not.
It
better
took
than
me
Battlefront
into
2.
Star Wars. No Star Wars game has done that. So
I wonder what Azatru is laughing at in the chat. Is it Rob's picks? Is it the title of the show? I wonder what he's laughing at.
EA sucks. I know. I was almost going to tell him, hey, you might not want to be in the chat on this one because I'm saying EA sucks. It might be politically bad for you. And just so this is clear, Azatru does not share the opinions of MakingStarWars.net.
No.
Shogun
I did
Orta.
do a wellness check on Azatru last night.
You
I
have
asked him
to.
if he's okay, and then he sent me a picture of Kermit the Frog killing himself.
Oh no! Oh, poor Kermit.
I agree with this. He's laughing at Rob. I agree with that, and it's okay because I mean, if I wanted to, I could probably make him cry, but you know.
Azatru said he's mourning.
No.
Yeah,
he's mourning.
I don't want to do that. I like Azatru. I like him.
Shogun Orta gave a $5 super chat. Thank you for supporting the show, Shogun. As always, I appreciate it, man. My only weird thing about the game cancellation is that they just announced it like last week or something weird.
Yeah, I think Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor are better games than Battlefront.
Okay. That's
Even
not
though-
the top. That's not the
Even though
topic
they
of
have
the
an
show, Rob.
uncanny
No.
valley, looking lead guy
Rob.
in it, I can't stand. Other than that,
Yeah. Anyways, this feels Rob is wrong as fuck. He's just naming games, hoping that he names a game you like,
No,
so
I'm
you
not.
side with him.
No, I'm
He
not.
just, yeah, he is. Trust me. This feels awfully familiar, doesn't it? EA. Rob, do you want to read the article, Rob? EA announces a Star Wars game, and a couple of years later, it unfortunately gets canceled. All right. Earlier today, EA confirmed that the untitled Star Wars first-person shooter being developed by Respawn Entertainment, the studio behind Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and Apex Legends, has been canceled, and that EA and Respawn will now focus their efforts on series they own and their already established and successful Star Wars Jedi tales. Which, once again, if Azatru was here, he'd be like, he was just telling me like this week. He's like, no, it's not taking anything from that game because it's a different team. It's like a separate team and all this stuff right here. So I know their answer in this thing right here that we're about to read is fucking bullshit. Of course, which is the third entry in development. EA's president shared the following on the FPS's game cancellation. This guy's a fucking clown. Respawn's this. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Clown, Mrs. Clown, Ms. Clown, fucking idiot. Respawn's unique ability to connect with players and create exceptional game experiences is unrivaled in entertainment. I don't know what you're talking about because you don't put anything fucking out. Like the last game you put out was fucking What Jedi? We
Hey,
had
hey,
Battlefront 2. Then we had.
they put out FIFA and Madden every year.
Oh, really? So you trick a bunch of stupid fucking jocks into thinking they're buying a new game every year, and that makes you fucking the unrivaled in entertainment?
Yes.
No, it makes you fucking just lucratively smart. As we've looked at Respawn's portfolio over the last few months, what's clear is the games our players are most excited about are Jedi and Respawn's rich library of owned brands. Shove your fucking corporate speak down your fucking throat and shut your fucking mouth. That is so fucking stupid. Like, oh, you know what? People are excited about a Star Wars game we made. Therefore, they don't want any other Star Wars games but this. Like, that is such a fucking chicken and the egg like logic. I'm at a loss of words. This is so fucking dumb. Knowing this, we have decided to pivot away from early development 2 years in, early development on a Star Wars FPS action game to focus our efforts on new projects based on our own brands while providing support for oh god, guys, they're providing support for the existing games that we're not playing anymore. Like, go ahead, add all the
like Apex though.
Don't care. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the Star. I care about the Star Wars angle on this, and the only game that, like I said, this is nothing. Laura, you're saying fucking nothing. It's always hard to walk away from a project. Apparently it's not. You're pretty fucking good at it at EA. You guys have no problem doing this. And this decision is not a reflection of the team's talent. Of course it's not. But it doesn't matter because you guys fucking get rid of great shit all the time. Tenacity. Oh God, I love those tenacious developers. Or passion they have for the game. What, they want to fuck it? Giving fans their installments of iconic franchises they want, and the definition of blockbuster storytelling and the right place to focus. Laura. Meow. Is that how I say it? Meow?
Fuck knows.
Meow. All I know is, Laura, you're a fucking idiot. Your company fucking sucks. I've never ever I don't think I'm gonna fucking even bother covering EA shit ever again. I just don't think it's worth my fucking time.
Especially after Ragtag, right?
Rob.
I think
It's been like-
Ragtag was a better
Rob.
game than Battlefront.
Do you think Ragtag's a better game?
Rob.
What?
you're-
Battlefront? Yes.
That's like the dumbest thing ever said on the show, and that kind of wins.
Huh? Well, then I win.
It kind of
Then I
won
win.
that one.
You won something.
I
I
love
have no
being-
response to it. It's just so fucking dumb.
I shut Jason up. You like that? You know?
It's like
hey.
it's like when the Trumpers say something so stupid, you're just like, I don't even know how to engage with you on this one because it just defies logic. It's
Mercedes.
brain-breaking. All right. The announcement arrives alongside the even more unfortunate news that EA has laid off several hundred employees. Inside Gaming added that many developers at Respawn working on the title was understandably shocked by the confirmation of the cancellation. Yeah, I think the article I read was like 5% of their workforce was being let go, and it's around 600 employees, I think. And it's evident that the decision was quite recent, as there are still job listings. I think Atsutrue was the one who was dropping that out, right? There are still job listings looking to hire developers on that, on that title online as of today. Though according to Igan, many of those who were working on the untitled Star Wars FPS will or have been moved to other projects, which include Respawn's Apex Legends and the Star Wars Jedi Survivor follow-up, which doesn't have Stig. It doesn't have Stig, does it, as it's true? So do we even care? Along with the upcoming EA titles such as their Iron Man and Black Panther games. How are those? Are Iron Man and Black Panther in trouble?
Not at the moment. If people are moving to them, it seems.
Okay.
Wasn't Mark Bernardin working on the Black Panther game?
I
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was.
There was no news on the Star Wars strategy game being developed by BitReactor and Respawn. IGN also added that the move is part due to EA perceiving a shift in the industry towards live service games, large online communities, and open world titles. It was previously reported that the Star Wars Dark Forces inspired untitled first-person shooter would have seen players control as a Mandalorian bounty hunter. Yeah, this is the one.
Hold on. Did they just say they report? Let me get that right. They canceled it because they saw a shift to live service, or they canceled it because there isn't a shift to live service. Just want to get that down again, because this added that the move is in part due to EA perceiving a shift towards live service. It's the last fucking thing anyone wants. Sony just canceled 9 fucking live service games. They're canceling the
Star
Horizon
Wars
multiplayer,
fans,
the Uncharted multiplayer.
Star Wars
So
fans want a live action service. That is actually
Power
what Star
World
Wars
just
fans
sold
want.
20 million copies. I mean, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this no one wants more live service. You know,
I'm going to use your words though. Your words are if it's good, then that's the problem with live service games. Is it
so
also has to be good.
got this game canceled. Because it sounds like they've been listening to Azatrue, right?
Well, I don't know. Is that what
he
is
comes
that what,
on here every freaking show? He's on here.
Bestman, can you clarify?
Star Wars game.
Yeah, just clarify what you're alluding to.
Well, they are saying that they claim they see a pivot towards live service games.
Yeah.
So a live service game would be something like Fortnite. It is like Apex Legends, which they are committing more people to, as they said. You know, the people working on the FPS have moved to that. Some have. And that they are going to focus on that sort of brand, right? So they are seeing it to them, apparently, that's the shift. Large online communities, which would come with, again, if you have a successful live service game like Fortnite or whatever it may be, you will get a large online community.
Yeah.
And then it says open world titles. I don't know if like that's a reference to like Survivor, because that was open world.
Yeah,
you know, like if that's just their excuse to be like, they're gonna, people responded to Survivor, so they don't need this single, because that's the thing. This game was single player.
Well, I will say that game with Outlaws and Survivor, I can see that being a little bit redundant of a thing to even, but at the same time,
highest selling game of last year was that Harry Potter game, right, Jason? Last I checked, that's a single player, non-live service. I mean, I don't know.
But it's open world in the world of Harry Potter, of a rich universe with tons of IP and things to connect to on it. Which
this wasn't open world. This was linear. Like this is the linear levels, and was a single player FPS.
But
they're
Rob,
saying that. For, at least for open world, you can be single player, but it has to be an open world, which is what Survivor is. So I think they're just trying to say, we're trying to justify our decision to focus on Apex and then the next Survivor game, the next Jedi game, you know?
But once again, we know that is bullshit. That is a complete lie. The teams weren't the same teams. Azatrue, if you don't want to get involved, don't. But I believe Azatrue told me that it was a different team. Therefore, it's like it's the focus was never diverted. So it's a bait and switch. Here you go. Come over here. Believe this idea, and then they switch it over to the idea. But that's not what happened. And then, Rob, though, you texted me, I think, something that made me the conspiratorial text.
Oh, you want my conspiracy theory?
I'm with you. I'm with you on your conspiracy.
All right, you explain it to him. You're better at explaining things than me.
It was your all. There was just that deal with Epic.
Yeah.
For Fortnite. And you texted me that, and I was talking to Bestman, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, we're kind of idiots if we all sit here and think Star Wars Fortnite mode isn't coming. It's completely going to be coming. And in that realm right there, live service, that's going to likely take the live service spot. That's where the attention.
Yeah, it's not like they're gonna announce Battlefront 3 tomorrow, man. Like, I don't know. Like,
why even do Battlefront 3 if you have this Epic connection with Fortnite? It's low risk for the brand. It's likely going to be lucrative. So why take the big risk with a whole new thing when you could just latch onto the Fortnite thing and then do it there for a live service stuff, for live service revenue? I mean, that makes the most sense to me. You know?
My guess, if I'm going to be honest with you, I really think what happened here, and this is all bullshit PR nonsense.
Yeah.
I think what really happened is Lucasfilm, Disney wants this Mando game ready when they make the movie, and they couldn't get this game done in time for that. And so making a Mando game that comes out 6 to 8 months after the movie probably don't make any sense to them financially. And the amount of money they'd have to put into it to staff up to get that done, and that doesn't even guarantee it would work right. doesn't financially make any more sense for the amount of money they might have a return on it. Like
we have a Mando sandwich of movies coming, so there was still an opportunity there.
But this game was supposedly like 2 years away, which is when the Mando movie is supposed to come out.
Yeah,
Like they'd been working on this for 2 years, and EA gets games up pretty fast, especially the Star Wars games.
As he says, game is 1 to 2 years away.
Yeah. So they would have been there for Mando, like,
or at least one of them. At least one of them. Right? I mean, either the Favreau or the Filoni.
The Filoni one's the one 2028 now.
Jesus Christ.
When did he say that? Was that
when I did that like stuff last month covering his newsletter?
Okay, that was in the newsletter thing.
Yeah.
You
did read the article on.
Yeah.
On
No. I'm just making sure in case somebody doesn't remember or whatever. And then obviously Shogun was saying, my only weird thing about the game cancellation is that they just announced it like last week or something weird. And then that was it was announced 2 years ago. It was acknowledged, right? It was just recently acknowledged again that it was in development. But
we just had like last week we had the report from Insider Gaming that is, the game is focused on a Mandalorian bounty hunter, and that it focuses on mobility and style.
Yeah.
So.
And oftentimes, this might have been left field out of nowhere, but when something does start floundering, when they see the kibosh coming down, people will leak, hoping that big interest would pop up. That might have been why we were hearing that stuff. I mean, that's conspiratorial on my part. It's not based off of any knowledge or
like anything. I said, isn't it? Like, it seemed as if when the cancellation of the game happened, like publicly yesterday, it still seemed as if people were surprised, like the people working on it were still shocked, like when they were talking to these different outlets. So I think the decision was very, very recent, because there was rumblings on social media from a couple of like those sort of journalists a couple of hours before the news broke that like that game had been canceled. So it might have been as early as a few days ago or something. We don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe after a year of staffing up for this project, someone just realized that it wasn't a live service open world game, huh, Jason?
I don't know.
It just now was what?
I just know that like yesterday I retweeted Azatru's stories on it, or his tweets about it. And I was just like, fucking who cares at this point? I was like, classic Star Wars. And I had the apologist not coming after me. They were fine. They were civil and they were cool. But they were like, it's not Lucasfilm's fault. And I'm like, no, at this point, it is Lucasfilm's. It is an entire failure of the whole entire system, the whole Star Wars brand.
Yeah.
Because,
it starts with Disney canceling LucasArts. Sorry.
No, it doesn't. But, no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It completely does not. I don't.
Nope,
but
that's where it started.
No, the thing about it is that when you have The Mandalorian is your 2-film 1-2 punch. It's the future of Star Wars right now. I would bet the farm on 2 Mandalorian movies coming out and that Rey movie not even coming out until they're both out. Right now, that's the way it feels. Not saying that's how it's going to go. I don't know, so don't put a tweet out about it or some stupid shit. Mandoverse updates. Love you, but don't do it. That's not what I'm saying. But no, but you guys knew, Lucasfilm knew that they were approving EA to go forward with a bounty hunting Mandalorian soft tie-in game at the very least.
Little bit.
And it was from a company who doesn't ever fucking put out anything and finish anything. And so instead, now The Mandalorian, in theory, is going to be coming out, and there will not be a game, in theory, that ties into it, how they're at least spiritually, that will tie into it now. And Lucasfilm were the ones who said, yeah, let's let EA do it. When we know damn well that other companies have come in, pitched Mando games, several, probably 30 or 40 at this point. There's probably been way more than we could ever imagine. And they said no to all of them, and they said yes to them. And
I think the reason they would have said yes to EA is because it's Respawn when they've had success with the Jedi titles. Like that's why they would have said yes. If like this should happen, this should be good and release. Like,
but then to use their own their own
yeah,
logic, I don't buy it. For their press release is dog shit. That was
right.
complete fucking just trash. But let's give it to them, okay, for this right here. So then you gave it to a company who could not handle it because they could not focus on the Jedi series while doing it. So one either that's not true or that's a bad thing. So somebody's dumb here. Somebody fucked up. Somebody shit the bed. And so my whole thing is you could spend all day going, oh, it's not Lucasfilm's fault. Oh, it's not it's EA's fault, or it's not EA. Well, it's like, you know what, in totality, at the end of the day, a product's not coming out for us to buy.
Ashley also said that Lucasfilm like also allowed them to cancel it.
Yeah.
Like Lucasfilm would have to be part of that decision to like have the game be canceled.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, Lucasfilm approve everything. Like it's such a slow. Well, at least it used to be over there. It's such a slow process to get anything fucking approved.
Yeah.
Like through the game stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming if, like Lucasfilm obviously have an investment in this game. So if EA are going to cancel it, they have to have the discussion with Lucasfilm to say, we've spent 2 years in development on this game. You want it out like we don't know this. We're just taking a guess. You want it out in time for May 2026, like because of the movie. Yeah, like that. We probably could do it, but we're choosing not to. They probably had their reasons. They probably told Lucasfilm the reasons, and Lucasfilm and or Disney would have had to agree with it or not.
I don't know. I have no idea. Like I don't know what their what the process would be. Can EA cancel a game and Lucasfilm says no, you're doing it? Does it work that way when they bought a license? I would imagine not. I would imagine they could buy a license and then just sit on it all they want.
They cannot approve of things. Like that's where you can tie it up.
Well, that's where
I've had it before
mad,
where I've
Rob.
submitted stuff and they've been like, no, I mean, you can do t-shirts, but you can't do that one. They can be like, we don't approve of doing a Mando game because especially if it featured a different character who might compete with the main movie character that they have. I mean, it's not clear that this Mando was Din Djarin with Pedro. It was also said it could be some rando Mando. The rando Mando, which might be confusing to what they want.
But but this was pitched to this started development 2 years ago, which means it was pitched long before.
But which company's known for just canceling things in mid-production?
No, I know, but like
which both of them,
known for that?
Both of them. They both are.
Like
they are both the most. They have canceled more people than a chick with blue hair on Twitter. More games.
One of them fired
things,
two directors while they were shooting a movie, which I've yet to ever see in my lifetime. You know,
right?
Never seen that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said. So for me, where does it start? Well, the problem starts with the fact that they gave them the keys. They gave them the exclusivity on the concept. And then now we're gonna get 2 Mando movies, and there theoretically won't be a Mando game that ties in any way. And if the game was Din, then great, that's fun. The movie's out, the kids know the character. The movie's called The Mandalorian and Grogu, so having those characters in the game is positive for the brand. And if it was a side character, well, it's Mando Mania time. This is its shot. This is the time when you do make a bounty hunting game. This is when you know, children and young people are really excited about that stuff. And then
so just made
they're not
Super
doing it now.
Mandalorian Star Wars, dude, by now, and had that
No,
game out.
No,
dude, the Turtles
they
game
don't want
sold
it.
gangbusters for what they.
I know, but it
so
doesn't.
dumb,
It didn't sell like what Jedi Fallen Order did. You know what I mean? It wasn't like
but they wouldn't have to put Jedi Fallen Order. Look, this whole thing that you have to only make AAA or fucking mobile is a dumb move.
I agree with you.
It's a dumb move. It's hurting the industry. It's what causes layoffs and everything else.
Well, that's what Power World and that Hell Divers and shit like that.
Hell Divers too, yeah.
It's proving that if you make a fun
the 2D
game,
Turtles game, what they put into it, I mean, come on, man, dude, builds up a ton of great will. You know, people fucking love you.
Oh, I want that game, Rob. I want the game you're talking about. I just, but it's not the same meal. That's a good McDonald's. Whereas the thing that we're talking about is like, you know, Christmas dinner. You know what I mean? As far as it's supposed to go. But yeah, actually, Crawling Chaos Hall, somehow Kathy is to blame on Azadra's Twitter yesterday. This guy's like, this is Kathleen Kennedy's fault. She has the rights. It's like
I never spoke the name. I said Lucas.
no,
Is-
no. I mean, it's not one person's fault, but they collectively have failed, and like that's how it needs to be
Yes.
viewed.
Man,
I
it's
hope
just-
they stop doing games with EA after the Jedi.
I
Fallen
thought they were gonna
Order
stop
thing
doing
is
games
done.
with EA like when the fucking 10-year exclusivity run out. Like I thought, like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe they'd continue the Jedi series, but that is it. No, they fucking announced the strategy game, this fucking FPS game, like whatever.
yeah,
You
because you
know,
know what's really selling right now, Jason? Strategy games.
that game
RTS.
has to be fucked, right? Like that
RTS
bit reactor
strategy
game.
games are huge sellers, man.
That's
Just taking
I'm
over the industry.
I know, but it's what I'm the most excited for, to be honest with you.
I'm
That's
not
gotta be-
saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that Lucas
And that's one of those
LucasArts
$30
used to make-
games that they shouldn't be making.
LucasArts used to make mid-tier games
Yeah, they
and
made shit
AAA
games.
games, dude.
They
and they had the
got-
GBA games. I mean, that's just smart business. Like it's just smart. This whole freaking something. All I'm saying is this story of we only believe in open world live service games is bull. Now you tell me the RTS is a live service game, because if that's the case, it's gonna tank.
No, this
Yeah,
is the thing.
right.
Like in the statement, it says that they're gonna focus on the owned brands and the Jedi series. That to me tells me that the fucking strategy game is probably also fucked, right? Like if they're gonna focus on like their own brands like Apex and they're gonna focus on the Jedi series, surely that means that like Bit Reactor game is gonna like bite it too.
Unless that one is like I mean this like respectfully in the bit larger sense, low effort, low investment, and potentially like high reward. Maybe it's just one of those things where like, yeah, this doesn't take away from
All right, but like
from it, you know what I mean?
like
So
this
maybe
isn't
maybe
just
it's
a
still
focus on.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
hold out
But this
positive
isn't
hope
just-
that something good is going to happen.
This isn't just a focus on Respawn though, because
Yeah,
like in the thing
this
is
is
that they're-
company-wide.
as a company-wide thing, they're like focusing on certain titles. They're still fucking making the Black Panther and Iron Man games.
Yeah.
Like
Hey man, I wish the Banner Saga guys could make a Star Wars game, like a 2D hand-drawn Elwin Earl looking Star Wars game with, you know, even the High Republic ship probably would work in that art style, you know, like. But
not
will
according
we
to
get
you.
that stuff?
According to you, the High
No.
Republic is white robes. It's bad, and Chris Breezy is a nerd. That's what you said.
Yeah, and if those developers made it, it would probably look cool.
Mumbo
All those
Jimbo.
things
Star Wars Eclipse, bro.
and all those things and guys, you got to remember this.
Thank you for the $9.99 super chat, Mumbo. Mumbo Jimbo, also a channel member. Man, Mumbo Jimbo is just supporting the show. I really appreciate it, dude. He's all, hello all. This has to be the earliest cancellation after a video game announcement ever. I knew bad news was coming. In fact, I could feel it in the air tonight. Oh, that sounds like Phil
Jason.
Collins at the end. Sounds like a
Jason,
little
it's
Phil
another
Collins.
day in Burnout Paradise.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I earlier in the week when the announcement came that EA was doing the layoffs, like I sent it to Bespin and I was just like, and Rob, and I was like, uh-oh. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know I didn't make any like claims like oh god, I think this is gonna happen or anything like that, but it was just like, yeah, this is not gonna, whatever the climate we thought we existed in yesterday doesn't apply today now. And so yeah, it's a huge bummer because some other company might have been able to like do it who just didn't get the chance. And I get why they go with EA, because they have that, they're like a big corporation. There's like, oh, they're not going to go under, they're not going to tank, they're not going to sell to some Korean sundries company or whatever happened. Whatever, I don't remember what happened with the.
Hey, if they had
with the French
LucasArts, they
guys?
wouldn't have to worry about that either, Jason.
LucasArts, it doesn't work. It didn't work. It was a company that wasn't
they put
working.
the wrong
anymore.
management in, but you could make a internal studio. They need their own internal development studio. So, stand by.
Honestly, Rob, with the troubles that they have just wiping their ass, I'm not sure they could run a video game company at the same time.
I mean, what do we expect from like this though? Like EA always have canceled at this point. I don't know, like 6 Star Wars games or some shit, like if not more. And then Lucasfilm themselves of God knows how many films, you know, like changed, like pivoted to something else. It's just
Mhm.
the norm when it comes to Star Wars. Like the last decade, it's just been this. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's so I don't know.
He ain't
It's so
lying.
frustrating. It's but you can't ever be excited for a movie because you don't actually know if it's ever gonna happen. You can't ever
Yeah.
be excited for one of the EA games because is it really gonna happen unless it's established? But then Battlefront died, and they had no plans for a follow up. Well, they did, like the dev team did, but EA didn't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
They
yeah.
believe in live service games, Jason, that they make sequels to at retail every year and then sell you $70 to $120 titles. Even though
they
yeah, that
resell
makes a lot of
FIFA
sense.
and
Yeah, sure.
Madden as exactly the same games every year.
I only believe in me, Yoko, and Fortnite at this point.
They're not
Mhm.
real live service games. Their Madden games aren't live service games. Battlefront wasn't a live service game. Like, it had DLC you bought. A live service game's Fortnite, where it just keeps going on for years and years and years, and it's there, and you don't have to pay any money when you go in. You always had to pay retail for these games. They're not. This company lies. It's fucking. The last time they made a legitimate live service game was Battlefield Heroes, and it was awesome. And they canceled that because it didn't make them enough money.
I
Not that it
hold
wasn't
on, Rob.
profitable.
Rob, I heard that EA is like the best company in the world, though.
Yeah, well, they're the reason why I lost my first gaming job. So fuck them. You know.
Fuck
I mean,
'em.
like, yeah,
Fuck you,
fuck their
EA.
stupid NFL exclusivity.
Yeah, fuck you, EA, and your
Fuck
stupid
them for
press
canceling
release.
Battlefield Heroes too.
Oh yeah, hey EA, how about you stop making Star Wars games to focus on fucking yourself? How about that?
No, it wasn't a live service game because they canceled it and you still had to buy it for retail. Look, man, you can't. It still cost you $70 to buy that game when it came out. Like it's for
Yeah, but
$60.
it's a live service thing, as they're gonna support it for like X amount of years. And
Yeah, sure they
free
did, and they
DLC,
sure they
blah, blah,
did.
blah.
I bought it for $6 yesterday. I mean,
Yeah.
no one was on it. You know, it was empty. A real live service. I don't know. I could play Fortnite right now. Servers are full.
Well, it was
So-
supposed to be a live service game. It's like the Suicide Squad thing, right? That's supposed to be a live service game, but obviously you had to
but they
pay
sold it at
$70 for it.
retail.
Yeah.
It's not really a live service.
But
Like
that's
they
a free
want,
to
they
play
want
live
both.
service game.
They
You can
want to
still
have their cake and eat it too. They want to sell you a $150 special edition game and then claim they're going to staff it up. And what they really do is hold back features and release it as so-called live service DLC and skins and shit for the next year and a half. And if they don't make a certain threat, if they make 500 million instead of $1 billion, they cancel the shit. Like that's no way for sustainable growth or business. Like in this industry, it's not worked out.
Well, that's what
You know?
happens when people don't stay at companies long enough for it to ever see the fucking the shit show they've created. You know.
Yeah.
That's been the
People
Disney
Insomniac
experience.
killing it with those Spider-Man games, single player. You know what I mean? Sell a shitload of fucking copies. Like I don't know, man. Like
Mike gave a $10 super chat. Thank you, Mike, and also a channel member. Thank you once again for supporting the show and being a channel member. And are there any good current Star Wars games other than the Jedi series?
well, I mean, there's the one-offs. I thought Immortal was pretty dope, but it's a one-off.
Vader Immortal on. By the way, and if you get an Oculus Quest 3, there's a program. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Quest Tune Up or something like that.
Yeah.
If you DM me, if any of you have a Quest and need to know, I'll tell you what it is. I bought it's an APK you have to buy for like $10. It will take Vader Immortal and it will take the graphics into the Quest 3 territory. It's worth doing.
Because that's the one thing where the PC version of Vader Immortal was a better game, not just graphically, but
much better.
The
much better
Jedi
looking.
Temple is a totally different experience than the Quest version.
Yeah. If you play it on PC, or if you have a Quest 2, do the PC VR version if you can, and you'll have a better time. But that one was really good. But that's still like, I mean, current. It's still a few years old now. It's like 3 years oldish. So. And then like most of the Star Wars gaming stuff I've had since Battlefront 2 has been in Fortnite. I mean, those are just like little events. But in terms of like stuff out right now, there's like the Dark Forces remake, I think hit today. Is that today it's coming
But
out?
again, you're just getting remasters of
Remasters.
old games.
And I wanted to articulate this on Twitter, but I didn't have the wording in me. I was like, fuck it, I didn't do it. But I'm like, they're not going to have remasters to make. Like there should have been a ragtag remaster coming in 10, 15 years. That ain't going to happen. This other
Star
game,
Killer will be the next one.
Star Killer sucks. Fucking.
I'm telling you, it's
and they're not
shitty
true
asshole.
remasters either, though. Like you're not getting You know, it's just a
They're
reissue. It's getting ported. It's like, are they
they're-
using AI to upscale like Battlefront?
upscale AI.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was watching one of Aster's video, and he was showing how they used AI to upscale the graphics, but then some of the graphics looked ugly. Some
Yeah,
of the
they look-
patterns, some of
yeah,
the
they're
stuff,
dumb.
it didn't come out better. It's like they didn't have a discerning enough eye to go, that one needs to be
No,
hand
because they
done."
don't need to hire artists anymore, right? The AI will do all the fucking work for them, morons.
So to answer Mike's question, are there any good Star Wars games outside of
No,
the Survivor series? No, not at the moment.
no. The answer is
Yeah.
no. Thank you for the money, Mike. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you, money. Thank you, money, Mike.
Yeah. Thank you, money,
And
Mike.
Big money, Mike.
Big money, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, really though, in terms of Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order are probably the last two good Star Wars games, and
Yeah.
that's as current as I think it gets, really. And you know, like my son is excited about the Battlefront. What's it called? What's the new Battlefront remake called? Or
Battlefront.
classic Battlefront, and again Battlefront to back.
Is it called like Battlefront Classic Collection or something?
Classic, yeah, some fucking stupid non-Star Warsy stunning fucking title. My son is super excited about it though. He didn't really play the original games. We had them. We own the original copies of the games, you know, the 7 GB ones or whatever, but you can't play them online. There's nobody to play with. And so he was like kind of like, I'm out. And so he's super excited about that one coming. So I'm excited about it because I get to play it with my kid. Like that's gonna be fun. And but at the same time, that in 2024, when
we
Star
got
Wars
breaking
is
news, dude.
alive and we have Star Wars like coming, you know, new stuff, new content, movies, everything's alive. I shouldn't be having to look back to when 2006 or something for my Star Wars games. That's
We
fucking,
got breaking news, Jason.
Is it really, Rob?
It is. It's breaking news.
Okay.
The developer of the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake is reportedly being sold in a $500 million deal. Saber is breaking away from Embracer Group, right? Saber, which is understood to have taken over development of the Star Wars KOTOR remake after the project was removed from Asper Media in 2022, plans to continue its work. The remake is hotly anticipated as a return to one of the best Star Wars games of all time, but was thought to have been canceled after a long period of silence, punctuated only by an exasperated comments from the company's CEO. That silence was broken in November when 2 Saber developers told Bloomberg that they were still working on the game, but there's been no official update for some time. Saber Interactive separation from Embracer Group is likely to be taken as a positive sign for the remake. Not only does the developer itself have a range of its own hits, but the new ownership distances itself from the catastrophic impact that Embracer has had on the industry in recent years. So Saber was purchased by Saber. Saber was purchased by Embracer whatever. So it's being sold at a loss. They originally would purchase for 525, and they're basically buying themselves back for 500 million.
Yeah, and we know Saber like took over like 2 years ago when you remember the reports came out about the demo, and then like Aspire were like moving on to like something else, and because Saber was the support.
Asper Media was like a third party overseer. They weren't really developer. They were like,
well, they were supposed to be. Aspire was supposed to be developing that game.
I know, but what they were doing was pulling in like 2 or 3 different studios.
And then Saber was a support studio, and then after that like demo thing,
right?
took
Because Saber
over
probably
full
made the actual tech, right? And they were like, "Well, fuck these guys. We can do it." Like,
I don't know even if it was that way. They said that they would move in a way to focus on other ventures, Aspire, so they just gave it to Saber.
yeah, that's the PR bit. But
I love you for this video.
Well, I don't think it was. They didn't put out the PR. That was a thing from like Jason Schreier.
Okay. Jason Schreier said it.
Like they didn't come out and say like Saber's taken over.
See Jason.
So Jason, it was a Jason. It was a Jason who put that out.
Yeah,
it was a Jason.
Yeah. It's probably.
I met Jason.
Right,
he didn't like me.
But I don't like you either. Most Jasons don't like you, Rob. But that's why I trust the report.
Oh, not even Jason Voorhees. We're good buddies.
Well, I mean, he wants to drink your entrails, but you know,
we go camping. It's fun.
No. So, anyways, though, is that good news or is that bad news? I guess it's not. It's not that it's canceled, right? That's
No, it's good news.
Yeah, it's
they're just kicking the cancellation and the collapse down the road.
They're getting rid of
right?
Embracer Group and taking this shit on their own. Like Embracer, they're horrific. It's a horrific venture capitalist nonsense.
Yeah,
company.
You've got more of a chance of seeing this game now. I'm not saying that it's definitely going to happen. Look, today we're talking about a canceled Star Wars game, but have you seen
the breakdancing dad story from TikTok?
No.
Oh, it's a fun rabbit hole. You should definitely go
if I was Microsoft right now,
dad,
I would sign an exclusivity. Hold on. If I was Microsoft,
yeah, I know there was a point I was making, and then you're just like, I have an idea. I'm Rob.
Yeah, I did.
But I imagine that if you watch the video of the breakdancing dad, it's this guy and he does this corporate speak, even when he's talking about his daughter. It's fucking wildly crazy. Like it cracked me up. It's so fucking funny. But I imagine that guy is what those venture capitalists are like. They don't know anything. They're all crypto bros, and they're just like, come on, guys, make it rain money. Make it rain money. All right, go on, Rob. Sorry.
Yeah. It was the worst at E3 when those dudes started to get more booth space than the actual game developer companies. You saw it happen between 2011, 20.
Remember when they used to give us stuff? Like I used to leave E3 with I got a Mario remote control car and shit, and then over next year I'm going there and they're pay us for juice.
Now money. You're like, I got to pay $90 for parking.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'm
not even
that's why
on that
I didn't go to the last one because exactly that. I was like, I used to be worth paying the $30 for the day of parking. Now I'm spending $30 and I'm leaving with some fucking free skin in a game I'm not gonna play.
Well, the last time I went, I did get to see the New Day throw pancakes at people and hit him in the head. So that was worth I was right there for that. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Pro wrestlers playing Street Fighter makes more sense to me than actually the wrestling part. But anyway, no, what I was saying is if I were Microsoft and Peter Moore and Matt Booty or one of those motherfuckers over there, I would sign an exclusive deal with Saber and remake their Star Wars Baldur's Gate 3.
But you got the problem with PlayStation have heavily funded this remake.
Oh, well then never mind, take it back.
Well, that's the whole thing.
That would have Sony. Then maybe that's where they're going. They're going to make this more of a Baldur's Gate style thing for PlayStation, I guess.
But Azatru put this video out, and it's totally worth watching. I'm stealing all his hard work right now, but he shows the differences between the original game and then the now upscaled AI driven one or whatever. And he asked, does it look better? And he shows examples and stuff like that. So if you are interested in Star Wars gaming, Azatru is the best analysis. There's nobody who does harder work than digging into the stuff around the games. If you want to, if you don't want hyperbole, like I probably have been full of today because they pissed me off. But
Azatru's reviews are better than the actual games.
A lot of times they are.
What?
But but I mean, in this video right here, he goes and I think he's honest. And some of his audience, who probably want him to just tell them what they want to hear, didn't hear what they want, didn't hear him just cheerleading. And that whole cheerleading thing is pretty stupid. And it doesn't really go anywhere. So it's we do notice when you do these things, and there's things that they like and things he doesn't like. But it's a good video. I suggest everybody watch it, especially if you
I got a Star Wars story.
Look right here. Look right here though. Look at this shot right here. This is where.
Which one's the before? Is that the before?
I don't know. See, because now so we go right here. He does the wipe through the comparison time.
The bubble turrets textures for me here. That's just getting that out of the way. I'm sorry, I'm just disappointed. It just stands out like a sore thumb. You can clearly see artifacting being caused by AI upscaling. It is creating colours that aren't present on the original textures. The bolts should be identical to each other. You can see that in the original game, but the AI has them in all different kinds of shapes and sizes. Sure, it is sharper, but it loses how it's supposed to look like.
Hit pause. Here's what angers me the most about this shit, dude, is if I were on a project, and I've been on these projects, and I turn that work in, I don't get approved. They're like, you got to make every fucking thing dress right. You got to make everything the same, Rob, right? But if AI does it, they go, well, it was free, so we're cool. like, guys, this shifting standard down in quality is going to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous because if anybody was actually doing it, they would have them there. Look how Lucas made that guy animate Yoda saying "begun the Clone Wars" half for like 8 months. He drove Rob Coleman nuts. But if AI was doing it, Lucas would go, "Oh well, it's pretty good for AI did it. It's good enough. Who cares?"
For 2 hours of rendering, we'll take it.
Yeah, not even probably not even that, man. Like 2 fucking minutes, but it's just ridiculous,
I was curious what Azotri would say about Beardtastic 77's idea. Hey guys, look up on YouTube. There's a good footage of the canceled Battlefront 3 game before EA took over the IP. Battlefront 3 looked as good as heck. So are we in a situation where we could see the Battlefront 3 content get dumped into that game? Is that
made the mistake of bringing that up to Lucasfilm when they came down in 2012?
That ship's already sailed. I think if they were going to, they would have included it in it.
Yeah, because that would have definitely
that source code's long gone. Like
is it?
It's no man. Yeah, that's done for. So.
Yeah,
I mean that was probably running. I mean, if it was an Xbox PS3 dev kits, dude, or I don't like that's XNA. I just can't see any of that stuff working.
Yeah.
Now, like it, you'd have to.
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Well, all I know is that I don't need 5 Star Wars video games a year, but if I get a good like a something closer to a AAA or even a $30 Pal World equivalent, so to speak, of a game every year, I would be happy to experience the fandom that I love or the IP I love in gaming in a substantial way. And when they just continually don't put things out or put things out I've already played before, like it's hard to care. I am only on this next game, this one, in the battle on the remake here, or whatever you call it, the classic edition bullshit, because my kid didn't get to play and he's excited for it. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't do it.
It would be fun to get a Battlefront style game like Helldivers 2, where it's you versus, it's PvE, where it's like, oh, we're all the Empire killing rebels, but we're not, it doesn't have to be like humans on the other side of that game,
Mm-hmm.
So you can just have fun destroying the rebel bases, and it's like you can keep it all within a story style scenario. Like, like you could all be Ewoks killing the Empire, or you can be the Empire murdering all those little murder bears, like.
Is there any chance that it just like with the games that EA has, like because obviously you can't release 5 Star Wars games in 1 year. Is there a chance that game was canceled because the window would be too cluttered? Could that be a real reason? Because they didn't give us their real reason other than we just don't want to do it now. I mean that press release was dog shit though.
I think the reason is just what it is.
Just
that they think that the investment they're putting into it is probably not worth the investment if they had those developers on Apex with this continued live service game. And it's the same thing of this the Jedi series, where they know what they're going to make from those. Like Survivor hasn't sold as well as Fallen Order, but they know how much money they will generate from those.
Yeah, and it's called Jedi and has lightsabers. This is a first-person shooter, so
it's
like
a single-player FPS. Like if this was a
the last.
If it was a multiplayer first-person shooter, I think they would have sold a lot more.
The last time they did that was that Republic Commando game, Jason. And remember at the time, look, it's not a bad game, but at the time it was like, man, it's just
I hated it.
Even when Dark Forces came out, what was the complaint? No lightsabers. I mean, like that was everyone. I mean, we were patching VOD files so you could like kind of replace the gun with this or the fist with the lightsaber to give you something, So like it's just
I need my Doom wads.
Put my
Doom WAD files. Thank you. WAD files, yeah.
Right? Is that what it was? WAD?
Yeah, it was WAD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this dork in the computer class I was in was always modding Doom. And he's like, I got some new WADs. I'm bringing them on a disc. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up, nerd. And then like he fucking opened the door and the girl I was like talking to, and he said, "Milady." This guy.
Well, I found it. I was telling my wife the other night. I got the. I was in this computer. We got a new Mac lab when I was my senior year. Like Apple donated all this Mac shit.
I remember that. Yeah.
And
Lego logo, bitch.
Yeah, and there was a Mac demo for Dark Forces.
Oh, okay.
My buddy had the PC version, So I took the disk and took all the files off, put them in a folder. Had to do just rename them to the Mac files.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not even hard. It's like just change the file type name, and then in
Yeah.
the game, the demo would end after the first level. But if you did the level skip cheat, it would then go to the next level. So
Oh wow.
my teacher then he was like, here you go, free Mac Dark Forces, and he was like, all right, you were the assistant now, you know.
Do you remember the RoboCop game?
with the new one or the
No. Back in the day, there was like a RoboCop PC game, and you had to have a USB like dongle that you had to put in your computer for it to work and
the
shit.
dongle.
So it couldn't be like yeah, it was. I think it was RoboCop. Was it RoboCop?
I don't know.
I feel like it was
RoboCop, but I know the
RoboCop.
dongle games.
Yeah, it was fucking
Dongle
wild.
games suck.
Yeah.
Well, they had dongles on software like Maya and all that stuff. And so what they would do at the studios was they would buy the copies, but the dongles
Yeah.
suck. They always broke and it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
So they would just install the stolen versions.
Yeah. Well, no,
and
that's
buy and run that because it was easier to run than the
Yeah.
legit versions and just pay for the licenses. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's how all the studios before. Studios are dead now. They don't exist anymore because of like home studios are so much cheaper.
Look,
Nobody's gonna
Crawling
pay for it.
Chaos as a Mando gunslinger game could be awesome. Real bounty hunter shit. Yeah, but they would have to make it for like 25 to 50 million. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe $25 million. Like you need a smaller 10-man crew. This is probably going up into the $100 million range. And at that point, you're up against a giant problem.
Yeah.
You know.
What I think they moving forward, what I hope they do is I hope they decide like if the Sith game is the game of 2029, then give it enough time that it will come out in 2029, that it should do it. But the point is they have so many games they're always getting canceled. They don't come out. And then we just end up with nothing. So they need to stop giving whatever the deal they make with these people needs to be like, this shit comes out. This shit doesn't get canceled because it's more convenient for you in Apex. And EA has only shown over the years a complete disregard for the Star Wars brand, for the fans. I don't like to go that way. I usually go, oh, you're disrespecting the fans. They have only disrespected the fans 5 times now.
Like if they use their LucasArts branding, right, just to title a series of games that are at the $39 range. No, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying make their own studio, but if you were say to separate certain titles from AAA experiences, and they were to say, hey, we're going to make these games from $10 to $25 million range, right, that are more like the Helldivers 2 experience, a smaller scale game, then like. Yeah, and we're only charging $39.29 for that. Like,
isn't that not the price point, but isn't that what WB is doing?
What do you mean?
Like aren't they focusing on aren't they like changing how they do games? I feel like you were telling me something about
they
that.
They said they're
recently.
going to focus more on games due to the success of Hogwarts Legacy. They said they're going to focus on a lot of their IP
internally though. Like they're doing it themselves, or are they sending?
Well, they have Warner Brothers games.
Yeah. So they're doing what Rob is saying basically.
Yeah, pretty much. But they'll obviously outsource stuff. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody
they have their own studios,
right? Okay. Yeah. So if we see WB being successful with that in the next couple of years,
James Gunn is claiming that that doesn't count for like the Suicide Squad game that just came out or whatever, but going forward the DCU that he's creating will be connected, so the games will be connected to the to the movies and the TV shows and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, Warner Brothers are seemingly doubling down on games just because of. And it'll be all sort of different experiences, like AAA and smaller, like.
But theoretically, Lucasfilm is watching what they're doing, and
they could be, but I think Disney doesn't have that much of an interest in making a studio. Like I said, they just put a 1.5 billion investment into Epic. Epic will do the work. From what we've seen and what that's going to be, it's just going to be in the Fortnite universe, just like a mode. And nobody's going to say that mode's going to be majorly successful. If you look at the current modes that Epic and Fortnite have made, their big push of rocket racing and the music mode and Lego. Like Lego was successful when it first came out, but all of them have dropped significantly. Like we were playing last night, like what 5 p.m. your time, if not later,
Mm-hmm.
and that rocket racing game only had 12,000 active players
Mm-hmm.
at that time. And the music mode only had 30,000. Like they're not vastly successful. Doesn't mean the individual worlds that they're gonna make for these Disney franchises are going to be successful. Like we don't even know what
Right.
they're going to look like. We don't think they're going to be super in depth, right? Like from what we saw of it, like it's just
Mm-hmm.
going to be a world. It's just going to be like an island. The islands might even be connected or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, well, like when you look at like what Battlefront was,
Hmm.
on the online experience and the different modes and the capture the Star Destroyers and here's the Gavin base assault and stuff like that. In theory, Fortnite shouldn't have a big problem with
Jason,
yeah.
do you want me to read this thing?
Yeah. Yeah,
This
please.
this Tom Henderson report.
Yeah, please. That way we don't have to bother asking Drew. Who's
So yeah,
probably
this is after so I'll just go through like a bunch of stuff at the beginning. But he said, "What was Respawn's Mandalorian game?" As previously reported, the game was said to be based on the Mandalorian bounty hunter, not believed to be the Mandalorian Din Djarin,
so
that would see the player search for bounties across the galaxy. The game started with The Den, which was the player's base of operations that contained your ship, a map of the galaxy, an upgraded station, armory, and more. It is understood that it would be here where you would select which bounties you'd want to pursue. The player could then equip the weapons that they wanted, upgrade their armor, and then go into the ship and land on the planet where the bounty is located. The game was not an open world and instead offered a linear level experience, but did have some larger open areas for the player to explore and find their bounties among other secrets. Combat was described as very fast paced due to the Mandalorian's jetpack that allowed for vertical dashing and horizontal boosting for reaching those high to reach places. It was also said that there were takedown features which would see your character perform takedowns somewhat reminiscent of Doom, but a lot less gory to take down enemies. The main enemies were stormtroopers who would patrol most maps as you try and compete for your bounty, and several different types that you could expect from a Star Wars game: regular, shotgun, sniper, heavy, and more. It is understood that the game featured boss like enemies periodically, which would see you face ATST walkers and other enemies. Would depend on the planet you were on, but could range from gangs of outlaws to other bounty hunters who wanted to beat you to the punch. It's believed that the game was still a ways off from its release, but it is understood that the game had a fairly polished vertical slice and a few other missions levels near completion. The game was in development for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And that's the story.
that's the story, yeah. So disappointing. It sucks. It's unfortunate, but hopefully more stuff comes out about it now that everybody's getting fucking fired. People will probably be more than likely to or moving on to
Yeah.
share stuff for it. So
I said
Royal Fino says, ask NFL fans how they feel about EA. They've been hated for over 15 years. Look, I'm not an NFL fan, but when it comes to video games, I really loved NFL Blitz and the NFL 2K series. Like, I could sit down and have like a multiplayer football match with a friend, and we could kill like a half hour, right? Like, and it was fun. Like, it was just fun series, man. I don't even like
I'm
football.
loyal to Tech Mobile only.
And you could do a 5-minute match with NFL 2K. I mean, with NFL Blitz. Sorry, but that NFL deal that EA struck killed everything. Like it just wiped it all out, and now we're just stuck with fucking Madden. Horrific.
That's the same thing for FIFA. Like FIFA is the same game every single year, and they want you to pay full price, and it's just dog shit. They even just rebranded it to EAFC because they didn't want to pay for the FIFA license anymore, and because they said it wasn't worth the investment other than a World Cup year. And the game didn't change. They obviously had a big rebrand of the game, and that was the perfect time to reinvent the game, give people what they wanted. But it's no, but people buy it every year. Same thing with Call of Duty. People mourn about Call of Duty every single year, and it gets bored.
Yeah.
FIFA, Madden, Call of Duty, those things will just get bought year in, year out, and they're always some of the highest selling games of the year. So it's people always say vote with your wallet, and but people aren't when it comes to these sort of games. They just still buy
No.
them and can fucking go online and complain about them. It's like the Pokemon
Vote
game.
with your wallet is
It's
capitalist
bullshit. Yeah,
propaganda just to
yeah.
keep spending money and not and have the
Like
illusion of choice. It's fucking stupid.
even like the Pokemon games, like they have been getting worse and worse of quality each year, and
Yeah.
all the Pokemon
They
fans
sell
go on.
billions of copies and they put
Yeah,
less effort into every one of them.
yeah,
Like,
and that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
so EA and Game Freak and wherever, they're not going to change their ways. Like they just
Yeah.
announced the new Pokemon games, Legends ZA or some shit. Like, and people are complaining that they're not doing it the way they want them to do it. You know, that there's a part of lore in the Pokemon history that this is supposed, like, the name comes from, which is a part of history that they really want to know about. But they're like, no, you're going to see either the creation of the city or the city in the future. It's not the actual lore stuff they want. They just
Yeah.
ignored them, said, fuck it. You know, we're going to put Celebi on the cover, bitch. Like, and move on. You know?
Did you see that picture I sent you from of Nintendo of like that quote from the Nintendo guy
Mhm.
where he's
Yeah.
like telling him like, yeah, if we made the game that you want, it would be completely fucking shit. I'm trying to see if I have the quote on
Yeah,
here
yeah.
still or if I deleted it since then. But he's like telling them like it's like people are like literally telling the customers are saying this is what we want you to do.
Yeah.
We want your take on this stuff, and they're like, oh, you're dumb, you're dumb. And then Power World comes along and does it, and everyone's like, thank you. And then they're
Yeah,
like,
but
well, maybe we should sue. We should find an angle to sue them.
if
They're
you pay
set-
for
yeah.
mediocrity, like, that's what you're going to get. And
Yeah.
people are just constantly doing it, whether this comes to games, like, whether it comes to, like, certain TV shows or franchises or whatever it is, you know? Like,
Right.
that's what I mean. Like Marvel, they hit the
That's
fucking
why don't
mediocre.
don't be a cheerleader. Cheerleaders are fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Remember high
Marvel's
school? They were stupid.
Marvel's hit a mediocre period. Like, you know, a lot of their efforts they put in recent years have not gone down well, and people like have not gone to the cinema to support most of those movies. They supported Guardians, you
Mhm.
know, and it's the
Yeah.
same thing with Disney Plus. Like a lot of those shows, they just had heat and low viewership, like Ms. Marvel and Secret Invasion and whatever else. Like, and now Marvel's
sorry.
seemingly trying to fix that, you know,
Yeah.
because they're not getting return on the investments they're making. They know that they can't just skimp on the quality of the writers, the actors, how fast they're turning these things out, how they treat the VFX artists. That's seemingly changing, hopefully, and you know that's just. But that needs to be a standard. You know, if you don't go and buy fucking FIFA, it's the same. The WWE did it, right? The 2K WWE games had a very, very bad reputation. They took 2 years
Right.
off to develop that shit, and the WWE 2K fans are happy for
Yeah.
the most part now. Like, you know, people voted with their wallet, and it like they got changed. You know, if the next Pokemon game is
Yeah.
bombs, I'm sure they'll do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That I have a feeling Nintendo's gonna see how it goes with business as usual post Power World, and then see what happens, and then course correct. I don't know. I wouldn't say Nintendo
I have no
overcorrects
faith
usually.
in Pokemon fans. I think they'll buy any bit of trash slopped at them, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry that they've consistently bought these dumb games, and they've been dumb for quite a long time, every year. And it doesn't matter how bad they get. The one where like the whole city's disappearing and legs are going into other people, and they still bought it. You
Mhm.
know, and I'm just like, you fucking, I don't know how you put up with it's that right there. In any other country, there would have been litigation over selling people a product like that. But you
Yeah.
know,
The Crawling
whatever.
Chaos, it's not Pedro. They said in the article it was not the Mandalorian. It's a Mandalorian.
Amen.
It was not
Yeah.
Din.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's a huge stupid bummer when you get down to it though, because that's the kind of game that should be coming out with those movies. You know, at
That
that
probably
time.
was the plan. You know,
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
was to get out by then.
Yeah, but I mean that would have been fun. It would have been a good time, and because there's like so much. Just before we go, like the vast like thing of Star Wars. I'm not saying I want anything in particular, but like you know, you have a game like smuggler. That's a whole game there. And being able to hide things and components and pass inspections on stuff like that, and in an action or sneaking and all, like there's a whole thing there. It's never touched on. It's like, nope, there's only a lightsaber or a blaster. That's the only kind of game. Like that's where the mindset of the fandom's at, and then that's what they think that they have to deliver. And then I don't know. There's like a whole like lack of actual like creativity on a lot of that stuff. That brings like an original, fresh experience. It's completely available, and it's with Star Wars you can do.
Yeah, I want another pod racing game.
You know,
pod racing.
But thank you for the super chat, Scott. Scott 007 says Rogue Squadron 1 through 3 is my most wanted re-release. What's the holdup? None of the games were published by Nintendo. Is it the OT footage in the menus? Well, it would be easy to change the menus if that was the case. So I would say it definitely isn't, but I think it might have to do, well, when you get down to 3, like some of those were high selling and low selling from memory. I don't know what the actual sales were, but I do know it goes like up, and then it kind of like, they ended up on kind of like, didn't Rogue Squadron kind of end up on like fringe platforms like Sega CD or something?
No.
Am I misremembering that?
Yeah, you're misremembering that.
I am? Okay.
Yeah. No, Rogue Squadron was N64 and PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rogue Squadron 2 and Rogue Squadron 3 were GameCube exclusives.
What was the one where you were in the T16 Skyhopper?
Well, they had a T16 Skyhopper level on the 64 and on the GameCube. They had both.
Because I remember having to play a game on a friend's Sega CD, the one friend we knew who had it.
There's no Sega CD games being made in 1999, Jason. Like,
I didn't say 1999. I'm just asking what
you're
that
thinking.
game
Rebel
was.
Assault, maybe.
Rebel Assault is what I'm thinking. Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
Rebel Assault. Okay.
Yeah, it was a full motion video, Hollywood entertainment game. So, but if I had to say there's any holdup on the GameCube games, could be access to source code. Like,
people always
Rogue
bitch
Squadron
about developing on the N64. Could what they have done have just kind of been like, this is a mess now to deal with?
Well, they've re-released Squadron. The thing though, man, is emulations got. Here's the thing though, like dirty little secret. Even Nintendo, when they put out some Mario ROMs or something years ago, and they turned out to be the actual bootleg ROMs from the internet.
It was the the internet service, right? And that they were running them emulated and stuff like that.
So that's where I'm like, I guess nothing would really stop if they're just going to send you emulator ROMs at the end of the day. My guess is emulator ROMs still aren't perfect and there's sound issues and all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Especially on the GameCube, PS2, PS3. As good as they are, there's still glitches. So, if I had to say if there's any holdup, it could just be lack of interest internally. They just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Or they don't want a Factor 5 logo popping up, so they'd have to remove that, or I don't know. Like there could just be politics.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against them re-releasing anything. Release everything. Release your whole fucking library over and over and over again. I don't care. Give if the choice is there, that's great. But it shouldn't be a big deal. It should be the most exciting thing in Star Wars gaming of this year is that we're getting a game from 2007. Like that kind of shit. This is boring to me. As a true, and thank you for the super chat, Scott. As a true says demand. Aspire said they'd do it on demand. Battlefront is what they did after KOTOR. Could see Rogue eventually. Funnily enough, Bounty Hunter is the next rumored game. So, yeah, it would make sense. And I mean, and I'm with you though in the sense that like a pod racer game, I'd be all about it if they, especially because like when you look at the old ones, you're like, oh my god, they could like a small $30 pod racing game that was like the N64 game would be fantastic today. And they could do it so much better. Like racing modes and stuff have come such a long way. And, maybe it'll come in that Fortnite thing. Maybe that racing thing will end up leading into a pod race game for us or something. Seems more possible there, But
I want a Star Wars Santa game where you have to deliver Star Wars toys on Christmas, but the right wing thinks he's a pedophile trying to come into their house. and he's got to fight him off. You know,
Let's not make pedo jokes around a guy who runs a Santa business. Let's be nice on that front.
but that was my
because,
whole thing,
people-
like, because it's ridiculous. But you know how they are.
Yeah.
You know, it's Red
Um,
Hat v Red Hat. You know.
Yeah, Scott says they did a Bounty Hunter remaster on PS4 back in 2015. Laugh out loud. And then As the Truth says, yeah, but this would be a bigger release apparently. So yeah, I remember Bounty Hunter got like a physical media re-release very recently too, which was cool. Like I said, I'm all about that stuff. Sell your shit, you know. But once again, just shouldn't be the biggest deal. Well, before we go, anything to say, Bespin?
Not on like the re-releases and the remasters.
Yeah.
I think we covered the Mandalorian game cancellation like in depth and
Yeah.
everything. And no, I would plug my coffee, but that's about it.
That's all I need. Therapy. Bad week.
Oh, trust me, I'm with you, Astro. Like,
Yeah.
my stress and anxiety this week has caused me to throw up a whole bunch, so that's fun. Yeah, I'm with you, buddy.
Yeah, our buddy here got a ton of unforeseen car bills on his yearly inspection, and man, I feel bad for you. I feel that system is fucking difficult.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if anybody wants to support on coffee, it's appreciated. Mike, Big Money Mike, as he said in Super Chat earlier, he sent I sent the coffee that I've just seen a bit earlier.
Nice. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Big Money Mike. But yeah, if anybody wants to support the work on coffee or Patreon, it's appreciated.
Big Mad Money Mike.
Big Mad Money Mike. And yeah, but that's it. That's all I can say. The site doesn't really make shit. Just like you said, this doesn't make money because it's not being monetized at the moment. Your channel.
Yeah.
And yeah, same thing. The site's not making shit really.
Yeah.
Literally pennies a day.
Have you thought about turning it into a live service game or an open world?
How about a newsletter?
Yeah, an open world newsletter.
And then you can come on the show and then not let us read the newsletter, and I'll be like, "Why are you here? Why are you here?"
And then say you're going to start a Patreon. That's great too.
You know what? You know what?
What happened? Oh,
Jason left. He's supposed to be Snyder.
He quit his own show, but it's his show. Like, hey, want to talk about Avatar?
Jason is here.
Kind of bastard.